If you need any recommendations for the afternoon, restaurant will be on the throne. Now this church here is actually not as old as it looks. It's about 120 years old, which for Austria. Here in Vienna, we have 23 districts all in all, and you get lost. You just look at the next house. We are heading towards district number. Ugly new build. These days it was now to the left. You can see it again. Do you know which city had the first one all around the world? Chicago. Very good. I rarely get the right answer here. Yes, Chicago had the first one. Now it comes down. People get off and on. And since a few years, you can enough to be invited to a banquet there a few years ago. It was a 10 course. How to eat up one course, arriving down again. New course, new drinks. I can tell you it was pretty difficult to get up after all these drinks and refills. Really nice idea though for special occasions. So now to the left, you can see it again. If you have some spare time in the afternoon, you may consider to come here and take a ride. It's moving really slowly, 1.7 miles per hour. And they're closed cabins. So even if you're afraid of, for 640 years, starting in the 13th century, reigned until the end of World War I, 1918. Half of Europe was part of this empire, and at some point we had more than 50 million inhabitants. Until the end of World War I, everything fell apart. We became a small Middle European Vienna. And we did not say Vienna here, we say Wien. W-I, after one child, she was pregnant again. Her husband, Francis Stephen, though, he had a lot more than 16 children. The main reason was the Habsburgs' way how to deal with politics. They had a saying, let others fight wars, we are getting married. It worked beautifully. They reigned half of Europe, were one of the most powerful dynasties in Europe for quite some time. Maria, young bride, with his naked knee. Marriage was consummated. Yes, a very erotic act. You may think I make up these things, but it's actually true. French king eaten from a golden plate with a golden fork when the French people were starving on the streets. He actually went to visit his younger sister in Paris a few times. And you know, later, second half of the 19th and early 20th century, Emperor Franz Joseph. It's easy to remember how long he reigned and how long he lived. 20th century, like the one coming up here on the left. This is Austria. In Germany, they left with the fall of the wall, right? In 89. Not all Allied forces, the Soviets. In Austria, they left. So that's why we are neutral. Right, next building on the left. Allied forces accepted, but that meant when they signed the State Treaty in 50, famous student here in former days, Gustav Klimt, the museum. So what you see in there? Furniture, tapestries, carpets, vases, china, everything you need for the interior arrangement. They were building their residences here. After the Industrial Revolution and the rise of the bourgeoisie, finally the new rich, the industrials and bankers, could show their wealth here along this avenue. Today, though, these apartment houses, office buildings, and a lot of very exclusive hotels we have here. Now Strauss, we call him the Waltz King, and the waltz, this dance, it was the dirty dancing of the 19th century. Touching a woman on the hip and holding her so tight was really scandalous. They used to call it the dance of the devil. And they said it's very unhealthy for the ladies to open the legs that one. Used to this modern dance. Soon though, everyone danced the waltz. Men with tuxedos. Right, any moment we'll be passing by Vienna's eldest school. About 15, 16 started apprenticeship, or in former days we wear this, and that's included. Well, let me care, retirement insurance, unemployment insurance, family support, free education. And the health and medical care is actually Charles Church. Built in the first year's concert every 1st of January. Left now, there it is. St. Charles Church. And why you look to the left? Please look to the left to do it. We have quite a few ladies by Gustav Museum. We have one of the world's greatest picture galleries hanging in there. Titian, Raphael, Rubens, Caravaggio, Vermeer, Bruegel, Rembrandt, some of the greatest old masters in history. On the opposite side, left side ahead of us, that's the Natural History Museum, or as I like to call it, the stone. But looking to the left, Maria Theresia up on her throne, the mother of 16 children I was telling you about. Maria Theresia, she was coming up with quite a few political changes and reforms during her reign. Not once waking my daughter up. our House of Parliament. Greece is considered to be the cradle of democracy, and that's why Emperor Franz Joseph chose the Greek Attic style for the Parliament House. And the lady outside the House of Parliament here on the left, collateral damage. Promise you have to find anything by yourself. Now, the pink group, remember, I will guide you through the city center. Let's get ready to rumble. Get up. Served with a plum trumpet. It's delicious, I can tell you. For those who go back for lunch, I know there are few international stuff. I told you about the system.
Michael Kors.
Okay.
You a new phone? You want to get a new phone? Chimney. Like chin.
Not bad. Smoke as well. Oh, yeah, it's a good kid. We ran ahead of ours.
Danube Canal. And I guess you noticed before, very colorful the walls on both sides of the canal on the left. Miles and miles of graffiti, legal down, maybe a little less in other big cities, but still. You know, those prayers that need the kick to do it will never do it down there. It's no kick to do it legally. They still cover old facades and churches with their graffiti, but those that just need space to express themselves have lots of space down there. Some quite nice graffiti, some quite ugly one as well, but at least it made the walls more colorful than they were before. And the moment we cross that canal, we are back in your home district in town, district number 2. So soon we'll come back to the giant ferry, and for sure not blue, as you noticed. It's green. If it rains a lot, it turns brown and twice as large as Central Park in Europe. As you know, Vienna is a green city. And you know, one of these modern buildings is the UN Center, the UN Bridge. If we cross the bridge and continued by past, let's say, 15-20 minutes, we would have left the city of Vienna. Saint Francis.
Instead of the ring, there was actually the midst of cyclist path. It's literally on the other side, here on top. But he is not driving there, he's driving here on our street. Anyhow. Very extensive construction phase started in the style of Baroque. So, Schönbrunn is a Baroque palace. And for all the palaces in the Baroque style, there was a role model. The palace of all palaces is the Versailles. The one of Louis XIV of France, the Sun King. Imitate, try to, build the way it was. Nobody managed to Versailles. So, but still, the architectural style is the same view that they do look like embroidery. One way for the owner to demonstrate his or her power over everything that even nature has to do and to obey to whatever it is that they desire. So I like to call those rulers as well control freaks. Some of them had some OCD, proper OCD issues, because for everything there was a plan and a specific order. And as I mentioned, the Versailles, that it was the role model for all kinds of palaces like this. The Schönbrunn was of course trying to imitate it, but it is much smaller. The difference now between the Schönbrunn and the Versailles, first of all, will be the size. Versailles is 1,070 acres big. Schönbrunn only 450, so half the size. Then the time when they were erected. Versailles was at the time of the Sun King, Louis XIV of France. That would be in the 1660s, 1680s. The Schönbrunn happened to be extended, well, because in Versailles, in France, they had the French Revolution. So it was looted, it was empty. Schönbrunn, we still have everything because, well, there was no revolution here. And so it's still original. That is now the biggest difference. And considering that Marie Antoinette was Maria Theresia's daughter, that's actually quite interesting, to see that where the daughter was living and ruling was the whole turmoils going on, the revolution, and here where the mother and her brothers then were ruling, nothing happened because different ways to rule. We literally just left the Ring Boulevard now, and now we're getting to a stretch that we have not been before this morning. Yeah, here to the right hand side you can see this beautiful white cubicle building with a gilded globe on top of it. It's another museum. We have more than 130 museums in Vienna, and this will be the Secession. Once we're actually on our way back, you get to see it much better. Here to the right hand side, the Secession, and it was built actually in 1897-98. Left, this is the first section. Inside they actually have two aisles, one mainly with restaurants and the other one with market stands. So this is actually a perfect place to come to if you want to do any kind of grocery. Not only, traditional Austrian cuisine, you also have a lot of different kind of Asian, Oriental, you have a burger place as well, and fish restaurants. All you can find it here at the Naschmarkt, the nibbling market. The last section we'll be going to be passing now, soon, you will see that is a huge parking lot right now. So from Sunday to Friday, it is a big parking lot, and every Saturday then, it converts into the biggest flea market of Vienna, and that is the one here, section number 3, to the left-hand side now, here, if you look. So this whole thing is a flea market on a Saturday in the morning. And the Viennese people, it is the most livable city in the world, but we also are the unfriendliest city in the world, apparently. It is definitely the place for one to come to in order to find something that has been stolen from you during the week. Being pregnant for more than 20 years and giving birth to 6 existed. So another wow effect, another way to show off again. bigger part is actually behind all of this. Kind reminder now regarding the Schönbrunn. I can say, yes, picture taking is allowed. That's a new thing. I need to think about it. Picture taking is allowed, but please, no flash. No selfie sticks, no gimbals, no tripod, but pictures, yes. Backpacks though are not allowed inside, so either you leave the backpack here on the coach or you have to leave it